This is a part 2 regarding the movie The Terminator that came out in 1984. I'm still watching the film, and I come to new insights regarding the movie, and that these movies are programs. And as I mentioned from another movie called Payday or Paycheck, but either way, in that movie with Ben Affleck, you create your future. And it was a race of finding a possible path to the future. The machine told you, and then you acted out. And these movies are being set up by the same people who wrote this Bible. And you know, the movie industry is all over this planet. And they have their own programs to dominate the people who it's catered to. So as I was continuing watching The Terminator, now the movie, the girl that is to, in the future, have a baby. This is part of the program. And they want the Terminator, to destroy her to prevent them, the girl, from having the child, because her child in the future is going to destroy the system. Now, what sounds familiar like that? Well, I tell you, it's in the scriptures. That it was war in heaven, remember? And that the dragon and his allegiances came down to destroy the child. Remember, it was the lady that they were after? That woman? Regal, royal-looking woman? And that the serpent came to gobble up. It was to gobble up her children. Remember that? And that I think it was a current of water, engulfed the dragon, if I remember right. But either way, it's telling you in the program, in the New Testament, that there's going to be an acting out and the attempt to destroy the woman in order to kill the promised one, the same as in the movie The Terminator. See how fiction and nonfiction are really all the same? This is the script. And the script is telling you ahead of time. And then I started thinking again, now who is the Terminator? Who is the Terminator? Just the obvious. The Terminator is Arnold. Now who is this Arnold Schwarzenegger? His last name alone tells you. A German. A German. Who's German? Who's German right now? Or is it another prototype like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I know he's just playing a character, but is he? Is Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie Terminator? Is it just a character? Or they're telling you they're going to get a German/Nazi to act out a part to destroy the child, that future child. The book of Revelation, the dragon to devour the child. Well, you know, in German, what's that, the German flag? They have like this flying lizard. Don't they? And it's a red dragon, is it? Or is it a black one? Either way, dragon's a dragon. It's what they symbolize. They're out to get the child. Now, what happened in World War II? Weren't the Nazis out to get the child in those concentration camps? Weren't they destroying the offsprings? And now what's happening now? I'll tell you what's happening now. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. He allegedly killed himself 3 weeks ago in New York City. And there's so much weirdness surrounding him. What did Jeffrey Epstein allegedly said what he wanted to do, if he didn't already do it? Well, I'll tell you. He's going to do a breeding program and going to plant his seeds. His seeds is to be implanted in 20 women at a time. He's building up an army. And what else did he do? Well, 2 days before he allegedly committed suicide, he wrote a will. And he ensured in that will, that is to go in some type of trust or something, so that no one can get access to his money. And isn't it interesting that for all these years, and again, he was arrested in the past, but they only got him on soliciting a prostitute and soliciting an underage prostitute, but they didn't confiscate his money. If they really wanted his money, they could have just taken it then, that you got this money through doing something illegal. They could have made up anything against him if they really wanted him to be thrown in jail, at least get his money, but they didn't. That's because he's being protected. He's being protected by someone higher up that is actually higher than him, protecting him, and so they could not take his property, his money, because he's actually working for the system. So he allegedly commits suicide. His will was already put in place. So even if he did commit suicide, there's technologies out there. He could be creating clones of himself, or just impregnating these girls. They have certain characteristics. It'll be very interesting if they release who these girls are, what their genetics are, because he is going to avenge someone. And maybe this whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein It's a whole program, an ends to a means to get money. Just like you have people in government doing things with the called black ops to raise money. They plant drugs in certain neighborhoods so that people will buy it, raise money that way, and then throw these black people and Hispanics in the jails and use their labor as slaves. So we're not to really focus that these people who are being thrown in jail, it's an ends to a means, and the means is your goal by any means necessary, and that who Jeffrey Epstein represents. Some people suggested it is a particular agency. And he's connected with these agencies. The people who he works closely with were involved in certain agencies. And again, the dragon, as in the Bible and the book of Revelations, I believe that is, to swallow the dragon and to swallow the children of the woman. Well, in World War II, they attempted to do just that. And now Jeffrey Epstein, it sounds like, is getting revenge and getting his army, and that whatever was done deliberately. So whether he's physically dead or faked his death, or whether he died but they're going to clone him, it's all being arranged, and that his goals is to still be put in fruition. It's like having a second switch. In case something fails, you have another switch to enact X, Y, and Z to still progress in the program. So it doesn't matter whether he's alive or dead, because something else, a contingent plan, is in place. And most likely, those women are already impregnated. There was a fire on his island, I think they said twice, so maybe to remove evidence. But like these snakes, they have a back door, and they probably have another location. So, yeah, they'll go through his little island and his other properties, but he has others. I believe there's more than one Jeffrey Epstein, a type of Jeffrey Epstein all over this planet, with their contingent plans of putting in their seeds of control and impregnating these women, because the dragon wants to consume them, and they're acting out the book of Revelation. The Terminator is a German. The Terminator is trying to destroy the woman, as just like in the book of Revelation, in order to get the child. This counterpart, they say, I'm going to get my children, and they're going to take over. So it's not just getting underage girls. It's a contingent, it's a plan in order to get your goals and this seeding of his genes to create his army of destruction. It's all a war game. The Nazis and the Jews are at odds with each other. And it's all a game. And it's all just a tit for tat. Let's see what happens next. Over.